Greetings once again to you all, our dear ones. And this journey, today we're on a beautiful journey on the progression of mankind. All right? So, you are in your physical bodies now, and I probably think that people do not even think about their whole journey. They see themselves in a physical vehicle, and maybe that's that. They do not think anything else about it. But let us take you on a deep inner journey of from whence you came from and the journey up to right now. Now, some people may disagree with what we are going to say, and that's all right, because we love and respect all. But to get you to where you are right now today, as you listen to this broadcast, you have had over 8 million life forms. So let us not think about the physical body. Let us go from the form of creation to the formless beyond creation. And that is whence we have all come from. So on that vast journey back to whence it all started, beyond creation, infinite spirit then individualized each one of us. But for each one of us to understand who we truly are, it does not just take one individualized spark of infinite spirit to create one, but it takes that soul a vast journey to even to become into human form as you are now today. So, as we always tell our dear ones, that from beyond creation, as an individualized spark of God, you came into creation. And first of all, it's like you're sleeping in the mineral kingdom. Then you start to stir in the vegetable kingdom. Then you have consciousness in the animal kingdom, but it's not until you are incarnated into human consciousness then you receive self-consciousness. Now, that is really it. That's it. But it's very hard for people to believe or understand that. And they say, what, Urius, you mean that I was an elephant, or I was a monkey, or I was a lovely, broccoli growing in the garden, or I was a crystal or a mineral, etc. And that is the vast journey of the soul through creation. Because for yourselves to understand who you truly are, it needed from infinite spirit yourself to come into form in creation. Because creation is form. Beyond creation is formless. I know that's very hard to understand also, when you say, well, Urius, do you mean that we are formless? We see like nothing. If you look from one side of a room to another, you see them in between and nothingness. Do you mean that we are like that? Well, it's greater than that. But you become everything that there is. That is the beautiness of it all. And that is why in creation, God has moved you through these different journeys for yourself to gain an understanding of the journey in itself, but not until you come into human form do you receive self-consciousness. But then you want to move on to cosmic consciousness. That is the goal, of course, of going back. So it's quite, think about this. when you come into incarnated here onto the earth plane, and the sperm and ovum join together in the mother's womb to create the body, and the body starts to form with your spirit within it. The first thing that is formed is, of course, the medulla oblongata, and that is like the mouth of God. And then the chakra system goes down the back, and then the brain hemisphere comes up in the front part there. And then the body is formed. So, instead of coming down to physical creation, like down the chakra system, then you need to take the journey, reverse it, and go back up. You see, that is the secret. It's quite simple, but very, very hard to do. So, the vastness of your whole journeys is quite massive when you think of it. Over 8 million life forms. So I don't think that one needs to, worry about what animal you were or whatever thing like that. But, the animals have consciousness, but not self-consciousness. But when human contact comes with animals, then you give them that love, and that raises their vibration into an area where they can understand what you're saying. If you think about it, animals can understand all language. If you have a dog, a cat, or a horse, or a pig, or whatever, and you give them love and you comfort them and train them, then they will come when you call them. They will understand what you are saying. Look at your guide dogs, for the blind. So, it's that love that you give them that raises their vibration. Wild animals or herds of animals stay in there's still consciousness, but it's like a group consciousness. But when mankind gives love to those animals, then it starts to spark them on a higher journey, and that journey, of course, is into the next level of their spiritual development into human consciousness. So, what we are speaking about today is a little bit different to what maybe religions teach, etc. But if you think about it, and if you think about it and say, well, yeah, Urius, it sounds good, but really there's only one life. Well, and you think, only one life, only up to 100 years, and that's it. And there's nothing else. Oh no, you go to heaven. And what do you do there? Well, you live there for eternity. When you think about all these things, that's fine, because people must have their own belief system. But when you delve a little deeper into your own consciousness, then you can start to experience what we are speaking about. So, as I said before, one does not need to think about, past, going through all the different kingdoms of life. You are now in the human kingdom, and so the idea, of course, is to strive for perfection. And, a lot of people do, and that is good. So it's interesting, though, just having a little time put aside to have a think about, what we have spoken about. Because the journey is a long journey. And even the journey itself, even though it's a long journey, as I just said, it can be very highly quickened on the pathway back to God. And so if you come back to the earth plane, and there's only one life, well, why would God, if you think about it, put people in countries that are starving, malnutrition, and people who are disabled or things of that nature, and people who are at war all the time, and you say, well, no, there's only one life, and then you have some great singers on your earth plane, and then you have people who are, cannot quite sing as good as they can, and you think, well, what is God doing? you know, one must always realize, our beloved ones, that God makes no mistakes. That is the golden key. God makes no mistakes. So then you ask yourself, well, if there's only one life, why would God put people in, in an area where there's no food or famine? Why would God put someone in a war-torn area and others in an area where it's so beautiful and peaceful? So yeah, it's good to think about that. There's a lot more than just one lifetime. But we can discuss that later as we go through. So it is a vast progression that mankind is on. And each one of you, though, have come through your journey, and here you are now on this physical plane. So, do not think that this is the end of all, because there is a great more in store for everyone after this life and lives to come. But the goal of the whole of life, of course, is to liberate yourself, freeing yourselves from bondage, so that you do not have to keep coming and reincarnating back to the earth plane and then back to the astral universe, back to the earth plane, back to the astral universe. You forget about all your families in the astral universe. You forget about all your wives and husbands and wives and children and that you have had. It's quite amazing. It's quite a vast journey. But that is just a little short topic on the progression of man, and we will expand on it later as we go. So thank you as always, and we leave you in God's great light. Thank you.